Morocco is one of the most moderate, friendly, beautiful, and pro-American countries in the Arab Muslim world. In 1777, Morocco was actually the world's first country to recognize America's independence. In 1786, the two countries signed the Moroccan-American Treaty of Friendship. I've been here a half dozen times over the years, including with my family, and I've loved every trip. But I came back to get the inside story on an exciting new development. Exactly 2 years ago this week, President Donald Trump made an historic announcement. Morocco's king was normalizing relations with Israel, joining the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Sudan.
I wish to thank you, President Trump, for all the great things you have done for the people of Israel and the state of Israel. We will never forget this. I wish to thank the Moroccan King, Mohammed VI, for his decision, his historic decision to establish historic peace with Israel.
But the kingdom's sitting prime minister had vowed for months that it would never happen. So what changed? And what could it tell us about the king and his priorities? In many ways, King Mohammed VI is really a reclusive reformer. So to understand who this man is, the values that drive him, and his vision for Morocco's future, we really have to understand his past. That's why we've come here to the National Mausoleum in Rabat, the capital of Morocco, to the burial place of both the father and the grandfather. The king's grandfather, Mohammed V, was an extraordinary leader, peaceful, moderate, and a fierce defender of everyone living under his sovereignty. During the Holocaust, the Nazis demanded the king turn over all of Morocco's 300,000 Jews to be exterminated. There are no Jews in Morocco, there are only Moroccan citizens, the king famously replied. I do not approve of the new anti-Semitic laws, and I refuse to associate myself with a measure I disagree with. I reiterate, as I did in the past, that the Jews are under my protection. And beginning in 1948, and in the years that followed, the king did not stop the exodus of nearly all 300,000 Jews out of his kingdom to the new state of Israel. Mohammed V was succeeded by Hassan II, another moderate Muslim who reigned for nearly 38 years, from 1961 to his death in 1999. Pro-American, Hassan was also pro-peace and sympathetic to Israel. In 1965, he was to host the Arab League Summit, but he was so disgusted by Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser's determination to annihilate the Jewish state that Hassan actually invited the Israeli Mossad to come to Casablanca to secretly record the proceedings. And this stunning intelligence coup gave Israeli leaders the decisive edge, helping them to win the Six-Day War in 1967. A decade later, Hassan played a quiet, back-channel role, bringing Egyptian and Israeli officials together in Rabat to explore the possibility of the first Arab-Israeli peace treaty in history, and this became the Camp David Accords. What makes the royal family's kindness towards America, Jews, and Israel all the more remarkable is that they can trace their lineage back to the 7th century founder of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad. Indeed, this lineage is one of the many reasons the family and the current monarch, King Mohammed VI, is revered by Morocco's 36 million citizens, 99% of whom are Muslims. That said, no decision better reveals the moderate values and forward-looking vision of Morocco's monarch than his courageous decision on December 10th, 2020, to formalize peace with Israel. So when Moroccan Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita invited me to visit the kingdom and bring a film crew, I immediately accepted. When I arrived at the foreign ministry, Bourita greeted me warmly. Minister, what an honor. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you.
I am so grateful for the invitation.
Your first time here?
No, but the first time to meet you. So thank you. Wow. I'm excited about the new relations we have.
You brought sunlight.
Well, and some heat.
Joining me were members of the board from the Joshua Fund, our ministry to bless Israel and her Arab neighbors.
Here are two of my dear friends, Dave and Michelle Rafkar from the United States. This is their first time in Morocco. Minister Bourita.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so much.
What we learned was so encouraging. Trade between Israel and Morocco jumped almost 20% in 2021, and it's soaring this year as well. There are now direct flights between Tel Aviv and Casablanca. The planes are packed with tourists, business leaders, and investors. And Morocco is excited about building stronger and deeper economic, cultural, and diplomatic ties with Israel. What I didn't fully appreciate until I came here to Rabat and met with a range of sources was that the king's decision to normalize relations with Israel came as a wholly unexpected reversal of the policy of Morocco's then sitting prime minister. This is Saad Eddin El Othmani. He was not only the prime minister, but an avowed Islamist. Head of the Party of Justice and Democracy, the PJD, long a branch of the Muslim Brotherhood, with close ties to the Hamas terrorist organization based in Gaza. From the moment the United Arab Emirates announced that it was making peace with Israel in August 2020, Othmani vowed that Morocco would never follow suit. Othmani declared, "We refuse any normalization with a Zionist entity because this emboldens it to go further in breaching the rights of the Palestinian people." But remarkably, the king overruled him. What's more, the king demanded Othmani sign the normalization documents. Othmani did, but privately he seethed. In May 2021, Othmani actually sent a letter to Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, congratulating him on the group's victory over Israel, which he called the Zionist entity, after Hamas fired more than 4,000 rockets from Gaza at innocent civilians in Israel. The following month, Othmani invited the Hamas leader to visit him in Rabat. These were acts of defiance against the king and the spirit of normalization, but they didn't last long.
Where is Saad El Othmani today? Gone. In September 2021, he and his party were wiped out in parliamentary elections, losing 90% of their seats.
Othmani and his entire cabinet were voted out of office. It was a stunning rejection of the Muslim Brotherhood and their perennial hatred of Israel. As one Moroccan political scientist noted, this is the first time since the Arab Spring protests of 2011 that an Islamist party has been removed from power through the electoral process. And the king? Well, he's more popular here than ever. I was so grateful to Foreign Minister Bourita for his time and his insights. The more I learned about the vision and values of the king, the more impressed I became. And our visit had only just begun.